right, I have returned. And what are we doing? So we got FFmpeg to produce a video file. So that was good. Something that occurred to me a minute ago was that we didn't actually hear it. I didn't. Probably the audio output was going to the speaker, which I have turned off when I'm streaming. But we can check it out one more time by string this and change the input audio to be LC. Now, some way. Here's the application audio. Okay. See? Nothing. Nothing is coming through in the application audio mixer, which is bad. Let's pause this. Audio track 1. So it has one track, which is interesting. Where's that appearing? Seemingly nowhere. Audio, video track. Yeah, there's one video track. Views. Can we look at the... there we go, media information. Back. So, something is wrong with the audio. What could it be? So what did FFmpeg tell us? Did it tell us anything about the input? Let's look at like the first file here. So it's a Matroska WebM. It has a video stream here, 2560 by 1440 at 60 FPS. It is 20 minutes and 4 seconds long. And then we have a bunch of audio streams, track 1 through 4, which is the thing that we need to like still do something about. So with Atrim, I don't know what's going on there. The first audio track. Let's do this. Let me. I just reinstalled Audacity. I don't know why it was uninstalled, but we can look at the file, see if maybe it's really just like super quiet or something. Linux. There we go. Ubuntu, home, me, loading Telegram. before. So there's stuff. That might just be noise, honestly. Interesting. So there's what stereo audio, but it's really short. That's what I'm getting. Why is it this way? The output tell us that's what it did. I mean, it did say the output was 1 kilobyte. That seems maybe not right. I did say earlier I was concerned because we're using frames. I did make that change, right? Because it was complaining that there was no there was not a start frame or end frame for Atrium. So I changed it to start PTS. Let's do this. So let's make some constants here. Frame rate 60. Sample rate. Def convert. I mean, frame to time. Sure, can do that. Frame to audio sample. Do we think this is right? Do we think this is necessary? Maybe I should just use start and end and have a time-based thing rather than going by sample. Especially, yeah, I think let's just do this. And that way we don't have to actually know what the audio sample rate is, which would be more complicated. So we just change this to start and end, I think. This is convert. See if this fixes the audio issue. I'm glad I went back to check that before we moved on. View command. I mean, the numbers are really boring here because it's very simple. I wonder if it matters that it's decimal like that. Well, while that's thinking, let's see if we can get this. I really like. I've had a lot of success with edit with Copilot as a thing, so we can like say rewrite this to use the information from data to construct. It doesn't actually matter what I selected there. It's gonna go. Just look at the file. And it scans over the whole file and figures out what to do. Interesting. That was a bit bigger of a change than I wanted.
It's not exactly clear whether they even truly exist or could be
Instead,
shown to in the physical universe.
second thought, let's do it this way.
If they do, if one day physics finds a use for them,
We'll just focus on the
that's
highlighted
great.
part.
But if not, that's great too.
Well, that's thinking. Let's go over here. Open this.
That would mean that we have, with
You're gonna
this
want that as a start doing. Get on the road to
a
make
tiny thing
LUV
a billion times
down at
smaller than the tiny planet it
your
lives on.
Well, I hear something. I'm not sure why I don't see.
Discovered something true.
Down at EV to your circuit somewhere. Well, I hear it. I'm not sure why I hear it right now. It's not coming through an OBS. Kind of weird. File, open. Output MP4. There we go. Okay, so we can actually see 10, 20, 30 seconds, right, of audio. Probably you're going to want that as we start doing more. Yeah, there it Get on the road. Okay, cool. No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that either. Go away. All right. So what do we got going on here? So for track and output track, we grab the media index. We call it B. We call it A. We join them together. Num tracks. Yeah, I mean that.
That's great. But if not, that's great too.
Fine. That doesn't need to be nested in there. Yeah. So does that look right? So we have the video files concatenated and the audio tracks from them also concatenated. Why is that happening twice? Oh, because I left this in. Cool. Okay, so if I run this command, it should work first and foremost. What next? What do? Well, I would like to have my let's see. Can we do the overlays next? Right, so the idea with the overlay tracks is that like we concatenate all the videos, and then what we do is we want to have that timeline, but then overlay another video on top at a certain point in time. Hopefully that works. So I'm going to turn one back on, and then we'll figure out how to implement that properly. I mean, what it thinks it wants to do, like what it had written before, is to add a filter. Okay, before we move on, let's open this file again. Still is working. I wish I could get VLC to not without an EV to your circuit somewhere. Resize the window automatically. Okay, anyway, moving on. It seems to work with that change. So, right, let's go look at the filter docs. Filter complex. Overlay. Here's an example. Example that I don't really understand what it's doing. Okay, the overlay filter, 2 inputs. We have just docs for all the things. Well, actually, that diagram I'm over. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing we're doing here, right? Where we have multiple inputs and we're combining them together in a graph. I don't suppose I have. Is that a link? Yeah, all right. Overlay one video on top of the other. It takes 2 inputs and has 1 output. The first input is the main video, on which the second input is overlaid. It accepts the following parameters. So you can actually like shift the how they're overlaid, like horizontally and vertically. Eval, shortest format, repeat last, alpha. Frame sync options. What are those? Not what I'm looking for. Deprecated, do not use. The timestamp expressed in seconds. Oh, the X and Y expressions can contain these parameters, right? So you can look at these values to calculate what X and Y are, which means you can actually have it calculate how the video is overlaid, like horizontal and vertically shifted. So if I want one video to be overlaid at a certain point in time and over another video, how do I do that? Maybe it's the set PTS thing. Mask 10 to 20 seconds of a video by applying the D logo filter to a section. So in split. Include a variant of the overlay filter. Yep. So what did we actually do here? It's using this overlay equals enable between and overlay start frame. And what is this between? Is enable actually a thing? XY EOF action eval shortest format. So I don't see enable. I guess let's do this. Let's rerun the Python command again. Python script. So that's gonna add things. Right, we have to actually let's say that this will be 4 and this will be 5. The order of these things don't matter, right, because they have start frames that tell them when to start. So the only thing is that this what is this supposed to see. Let's do this. This is 3, and then this is 4. That way, when I uncomment these things later, it will be correct. So take this one. That'll be up here. Comment. Here we go. So this takes video, so the third video, right? So 0, 1, 2. The third video is this live on Twitch, that MOV file. I mean, that's wrong, right? Because it needs to overlay. Ooh, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this to later. And what we're gonna do is we're going to call this vmain, a main. Right. So after we can cat all of the video streams together, call that vmain. This is a main. And then what we want to do is we want to combine vmain and this overlay, and we reuse names. Like after we take vmain and this and do this overlay, can we then call that result vmain? I don't know. What happens if I do this? Does not like that. Stream specifier :a in this matches no streams. Right. Because it's likely the case that this file does not have an audio stream. What to do about that? Fix the file? Maybe. I guess part of the thing is that this input media should really be only really after the things that are in an output track. Right? Let's say section is data sub input media. There we go. Sub media dot media index sections media section index. Which hopefully, like, we're not gonna like do error handling stuff or whatever. It should match, and if it doesn't, our test data is broken. So that'll get us a section. Oh, this is good too, because this, and that, and that. So that basically means that every output track from our data will have a corresponding v sub I and a sub I um, thing. Yeah, and this is wrong. How do I want to do this? I guess the easiest thing to do would be to say something like video tracks. Yeah, like that. Audio tracks. So, and then it just becomes video tracks. Yeah. Of one of those things. They should hopefully be the same. And then, yeah. I mean, just do this thing. What if they aren't? Okay. So that means that we'll only do this part for the things that are listed in output tracks. So we won't try to create separate things for this file. Which means for the overlays, we're only concerned with a thing that doesn't exist yet. So we'll have to select that somehow. I think what do I think? So what we need to do is we need to relate this S3 location to the alias, or at least the number part of like the V0, A0 thing. Like this part. Like right now, what we're assuming is that everything in output track corresponds one-to-one with S3 location order that we append things. So what we need to do instead is we need to say, let's say input files. Let's see, we can also enumerate here. So we have an I. What we want to do is we want to say input files sub. No, other way around. We want to do like this, so that we can find this equals I. So that means, because this is going to be subtly wrong, otherwise, yes. So here we don't actually need to enumerate this now. I'm going to drive this a different way. I'm going to say input files, data, input media, media index, S3 location. That's definitely not right. Sections, input media, section. Okay. So there's a lot of nesting here. So this represents okay. Let's rename things. It's getting a little confusing. Track and track. Oh, let's get rid of those pieces. Anyway, so this is what I would like to call media. Yeah. Although, yeah, that's fine. And then so that media input media is an array, right? Input media? Yeah, it's an array of dictionaries. I lost my place. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Oh, I see. Track? No, media sections. Oh, and this should be track, right? It has a media index and a section index. Yeah. So things we can do. Let's try to get to I. So I is input files, sub media S3 location, right? So we have this media dictionary that has an S3 location. So that's a string, right? So hopefully it's the case that the S3 location uniquely identifies the media file. That's why we put it in a dictionary. So we get back a number that represents the thing that is both the input and the thing that we'll use for aliasing the trimming of that. Although that's not going to work. Not going to work at all. So temporarily, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this II. We definitely need to go through and rename things, but temporarily. And then what we'll do is we'll say I and track and then enumerate, right? Because what we're interested in here is the output track. For each output track, we have a V sub I and a sub I. Okay, so let's see if Copilot can give us a better name for this. Output track info. Yeah. About a better name for media. Can we call it media file? Input media item. There we go. Cool. II. Please give me a better name. Input media index. Okay. Look, naming things is hard. Although in retrospect, it's like, oh yeah, we could call it that. Okay. So have I completely broken everything? Is still to be determined, but that should be better. Let's see what this generates. Okay. So we have a bunch of input files. Say, hey, grab the first video and trim it. Call it V0. Grab the first audio and trim it. Call it 80. Same thing, 1 and 2. Yep. And then take the first 3 videos and concat them together. Okay, N12 is definitely wrong. How did we end up with 12? Oh. That's counting the string length of the string. And that's fine. Okay. Try that again. Oh, right. Okay. N3. Same thing. Now take vmain and v3 overlay and call it vmain. And then make that output. So is this gonna work? I don't know. I don't really know how overlay works. I don't know if enable is actually an option. Invalid stream specifier v3, yes. Because at this point, this is actually that not the media index. What is the number that represents the video stream that we want to use there? Okay, so media input media index, input files, data sub input media indexed by this overlays media index, and get the S3 location. Now that is a lot. So let's break this down. Input media item. That's the same thing I just copied, right? Basically. And this gets the S3 location from the media item and finds it inside of input files. Also, is there a better name? Input file index map. It's pretty good. S3 location index. I like index map. Okay. So this colon V, right? So what we had before was this V3. There isn't a V3. There's actually a 3:V, right? Because we have 4 files in total as input. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here, that's just like when we do 0:V here at the start of the filter complex. So we still don't know if this actual overlay filter will work, but we're still making progress. Filter overlay has an unconnected output. This frame size change is kind of interesting. What's going on with that? I wonder. Regardless, filter overlay has an unconnected output. So what I attempted to do was to give it vmain and 3v, combine them together and have it output as vmain. I guess this is the part where I need to have like a map command. Let's do, is it extend? That way you can just put it all in one thing. So does that tell it to take vmain and amain? Maybe. Let's see what it made. Things that I'm suspicious may or may not work are like we're trying to do this overlay. I didn't really look closely. Oh yeah, start frame 1800. There aren't 1800 frames because we changed this. Well, technically, there's 600, 600. There's exactly 1800 frames. So this is not gonna work exactly. Oh no, it's fine. No. Where did I put it? There we go. This is gonna be wrong. We should do something like maybe 60, like 1 second in. Might be better. So I think best case scenario, we see something that looks exactly like the, well, maybe not best. The likely scenario is that we'll see a video that's exactly like the last one with no difference. Kind of worst case is things are completely broken. For no apparent reason. So far, so good. Okay, first and seconds. So soonish we can do that. Probably you're gonna want that as a surgeon. into the second video. Get on the road to making LUV circuits without an EUV. That's something. If something's going to appear, it's going to appear right at the very end. But that's fine. Probably won't even notice it. Okay, so let's generate the command again. I think this is fine. I like having the extra little bit of safety of reviewing the command before running it. So we're taking stream 3 and we're applying overlay, and then we're overlaying. Okay. So in the first second, we should get some video overlaid in the output. And the overlay is supposed to be about 2 seconds, almost 2 seconds of video. This is the a little watermark thing that it should appear bottom right. I don't know how it's actually going to work because of the thing I was saying about resolution. We should see something right there, right now. Usual. Oh, maybe. Can we advance frame by frame? Go slow. Very brief. Blinking, you'll miss it. I like arrow. No, that's very unfine. Yeah, it's like a frame. And the reason for that is because something I saw in the thing, which, by the way, apparently the enable option for overlay does work. But it just overlays it for a frame. I wonder. So let's figure out what's going on. So how does FFmpeg work? Expression evaluation. So between, return 1 if x is greater than or equal to min and lesser. I think I don't know that I need between. I might want just greater than or greater than equal to. Get rid of this third argument. The thinking being like the video that we're overlaying is already fairly short, so we want to wait until a certain time before we start showing it, and then it goes away. I guess the question is going to be, how does it actually work? Like, maybe this doesn't actually do anything because it's already, like, when the stream starts, both streams are going, and so it's choosing whether or not to show, but it's not controlling when the overlaid video actually starts. Might be true. If so, we probably need to use start PTS or something. I don't know. Let's see what this does. Okay, we have an output. Okay, well, that did a thing. It's doing. Huh. I remember a few years ago developing a VOD site. I had one container which would take the entire video, create 10-second chunks, and I think it was HLS. What was HLS? What is HLS? So there's some problems with this. One, it's not overlaying it in a way where we have like transparency. Two, it needs to do some things. Another container would update the chunks to S3. I see. Like, I don't know that we need to even upscale the video as much as maybe just move this to the bottom right. Like we can do, just move it. Although that's not something that was included in the original design of the format, but we can do that. So it appears here, and I wonder, what does it look like if I get rid of the enable? If we just do this. Oh, right. So first of all, when I read that message, in this context, my brain went to like container file format for some reason, rather than what's much more obvious in retrospect, which is, you mean like a Docker container. Yeah, I think one of the things we kind of like punted, like the last thing I was looking at with the video editor component, was the fact that the video files that we'll be viewing in it are these 20-minute chunks and are not in a format that's compatible with like browsers, because they're MKV files. So we're going to have to do something in the upload pipeline where it's going to do, I don't know. I was thinking it would just like transcode them to like MP4 or something, and then the front end would be responsible for switching between like 20-minute segments, because that's what these are, all 20-minute segments. Yeah, 10-second chunks. That, I mean, could be better. I don't know. There's some stuff around like being able to it's interesting because like if you try to do any Googling about this, you get a bunch of stuff about feeding video for live streams, and that's not what I'm trying to do. It's all, you know, it's archived video. It's just archived video in a bunch of separate segments. Whereas it seems it's either like you have one video file that you can feed into like a video tag, or you are trying to do live streaming. And there doesn't seem to be, I couldn't find anything researching it about trying to like serve multiple video files of static content. So that's still a thing to solve. So what is this? Let's not show the API key. What does this video file look like? So let's start back here. So I feel like yeah, my suspicion is that this is doing that, like the it starts at the same time regardless. It's just a matter of whether it's being shown or not. which I don't necessarily care about. Although it should go away at this point. I guess, so we have to do both. Interesting. Brainless says, but the live streaming format would work in your case, HLS to HTTP live streaming. I was not doing streaming, those were full-length videos, but for transferring it was optimal. Yeah. Maybe so. Okay, so what do I need to do here? How does this work if I want to chain filters? Overlay out, over. Yeah, I guess I could do this. Yeah, filter, not finally. So what I want to do is I want to take this, like so, and oh, right, because we are not grabbing the input media for overlay tracks up here, or rather for output tracks. We're only grabbing output track media inputs. This is the only place where we're doing the trim. So I do need to do something like this. Here, let's just do that. So I returns, enumerate this, and we're gonna do this. Hey, we have a naming convention. So grab the video, I'm gonna trim it. Yeah, we do need to grab the section. Okay, and then in frame, and then set PTS needs to be. So we'll do this. We'll say VO, as in video overlay, sub I. How does set PTS work? Aha, changes the presentation timestamp of the input frames. Set PTS works on video frames. Set PTS works on audio frames. It evaluates an expression. So, PTS minus start PTS. What does it mean? What is start PTS? The PTS of the first frame. PTS is the presentation timestamp in input. So you can make things go faster or slower. I guess set PTS should just be the overlay. Overlay tracks has a start frame. So we should start there, right? We should set the presentation timestamp of this video overlay to be the start frame of the overlay. And then we just combine these things together into vmain. And if there are multiple, then we're just like hopefully tying them together. We'll see if this actually works. Let's make another command and let's run it. It's still going to be wrong because we're still not having the alpha effect work. We need to add the enable option back probably to make the overlay stop. Yeah, something like, ooh, EOF action pass. What is it? EOF action. When into file is pass the input stream through. Okay, so cool. That will fix that other issue. Let's see if we can actually see this before we have to take another break. That'd be nice. Oh. Let's see if I can avoid clicking any of the secret files that are in this folder. Usually not a problem. For some reason, I decided I was going to have this output appear here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Again, this should go away with the last thing we changed. We just haven't did it yet. Seems not right. Okay, well, more troubleshooting after the break. I'm gonna get up out of the chair for a couple of minutes and walk around, and I shall return.